Hey guys, what's up? This is Zed here, and I would like to talk about the past six games for the Warriors, including today's game against the Toronto Raptors. They went 4-2 the past six games. Um, the two losses coming against the Blazers and the Clippers, and they showed a lot of signs in terms of improving. Defensively, they've been doing fine. They're very energetic. They are running around. They're playing zone defense. They're doing everything. Offensively, it's still like they're improving, and you can see the Draymond effect on both ends of the court. Defensively, he's telling everyone to go where they should go. He has been a perfect example of what it is to basically give a lot of effort defensively. And offensively, he's been a facilitator, more or less. He hasn't really he hasn't really played or had any eye-appealing games, but when you see the game, when you see what he does on the court, it is so impactful to everyone. The rookies, the young players, everyone is having a good impact because of him. Curry has had, very streaky type of week where one game he doesn't seem to be standing out. The next game he goes off. This happened against the Blazers and the Clippers. In the Blazers, the first game he had 26 points, but the Warriors were blown out. In the second game he had 62, and the Warriors blew the Blazers out, right? And then the Clippers in the first game, the Clippers were triple teaming him, throwing everything at him, and no one else was really aggressive until like the third quarter, and he only had 13 points that game. And then the second game, he had 38 points, nine triples. But like even then, they were still playing some pretty solid defense. He just got going in the third quarter. Now I want to talk about um, Damian Lee right here. I think he's been doing very well in his role. He's playing like that Ian Clark role or Nick Young role where he comes in and gets his buckets. That's all, and that's what he's doing. And defensively, he's been giving effort to say the least. Bazemore, I wanted Bazemore to play, and he played these past six games, and I liked what I saw. Now his stats aren't eye appealing, right? As for others, right here, but if you see the court, you see him run. If you see the game, you see him running around everywhere. You see him getting a block. You see him occasionally shooting a three, right? And he has that Iguodala type of impact where he he's not a good shooter necessarily, but when the time comes or when it's a crunch time situation, he will hit that big shot, that big three, that big jumper, or something like that. And he's a very experienced player. Will provide and he will provide all of that experience to his young teammates. I think Eric Pascal, he definitely should be in the conversation for sixth man of the year. He has scored double figures for the past 8 games, and he's been a bucket when he comes off the bench. I really hope that he doesn't start because I want him to get that six man of the year award. I don't know what the requirements are for the six man of the year necessarily, but I think he has to not be a starter for like most of the season or something like that. But I think he's been fine. Defensively, he still needs to improve on there, but offensively, he's been a bucket. He roasted Cantor in the first game in the second quarter when he was really the main source of offense in the second quarter, trimming that lead to single digits. And then you saw against the Clippers in both of those games where he was beating Zubac, where he was just going to the paint, and he hit that big three against the Clippers in the second game to give them the lead. Brad Wanamaker, other than those two huge triples in against the Clippers, he didn't really play that well in terms of he wasn't eye appealing to me to say the least. Um, Michael Mulder, I think he's been doing fine. Kevon Looney, he hasn't been doing too well in terms of rebounding, playing that small ball center, but I think he will do well. Now, as for the starters, I've already talked about Steph. Let's talk about Andrew Wiggins right here. He has been quietly doing well in these past 6 games. While the shine has been on Steph, he's been quietly producing. He's been quietly defending pretty well. His one-on-one defense got a lot better. He's more defensively aware, and I think that is the Draymond effect on him. And his three-point shot has been falling a little more consistently. Not too consistent, but more consistently. Kelly Oubre Jr. I'll talk about his defense right now. Defensively, he's fine. Like, there's nothing too much to work on. He gives the effort on there. Offensively, it's a whole nother video for the next game. I don't think I would have that much time to describe his offense. Let's talk about James Wiseman right here. So James Wiseman was pretty quiet this week. He didn't play too much in every game. He had about 20 minutes a game or something like that. And I think that's fine. But in the future, I would like to see him play many more minutes and be more impactful. He's a great rookie. He has everything in his offensive bag. He's got the jumper, the jump hook, the 3-point shot. He's got everything. He's even got the handle. So I would like for him to improve and get better and get more minutes. I haven't talked about Nico Mannion and Jordan Poole. And for Jordan Poole, he needs to use the garbage time that he gets to improve and to really show the coach why he should get more minutes. Against the Kings, he had like 10 points, but that was about it. And then Nico Mannion, he also played only against the Kings, and he didn't do anything really. He only got like 2 rebounds or something like that, and that's about it. I think he'll start to grow. He'll put in more practice. He'll get better. I wanted to see Alan Smailagic play center or like be in the rotation. I think that him playing in more NBA games would result in him growing and getting better and getting more fun in the offensive system. And I think that's about it right here for him. Now, as for Juan Toscano Anderson, he didn't play these past few games, I believe. I don't know why, but something must be going on, or I think coach is trying to get some other players to play a little more minutes. Yeah. So this effort against the Raptors in the fourth quarter cannot happen. You cannot shoot this poorly against the Raptors and try to win, or against the Pacers the next game and win this game. They have a lot of offensive power, and defensively they're a pretty good team. They have Domantas Sabonis. They have Malcolm Brogdon, who's averaging a career high in points. Victor Oladipo has been pretty solid, and despite not having TJ Warren, they have had a lot of success. Now, a credit to the Clippers with Patrick Beverley in the first game, and the Blazers in the first game, where they've kind of been, and also the Raptors, where they were kind of physical with Steph. They were trying to, tell him or force him to exert more energy. Now, he did get a few buckets, but still, you're good. You're a good defense when you see when you see Steph, out of energy. He even missed like 2 free throws against the Clippers. That's when you know that you did a good job of exerting all of the energy out of him. In fact, I think one of the commentators said something like, all those marks that you see on his hands and arms and everything like that. Those are the cuts and bruises that he gets when people grab him, pull on him defensively just to try to get him out of rhythm. I think he was bleeding, and so they tended to his cut, and that's when they talked about it. And he was horrible this game. He did like 2 of 16, 1 of 10, missed 14 straight shots. It was just awful, but he was fine in terms of rebounding. He had like 9 rebounds. He facilitated pretty well, 6 assists. But take your pick for worst games. In the Game 3, 2018 NBA Finals, Game 4, 2017 NBA Finals, Game 2, 2015 NBA Finals, or this game. Take a pick. I would be fine if you picked any of those games as his worst game. Now, as for the Pacers, a lot needs to be done. You need to box out Domantas Sabonis. You need to be um, pretty disciplined in terms of guarding him. You know, he is a pretty nifty player. He isn't athletic, but he's pretty nifty. And Brogdon, you need to guard him and expect Brogdon to exert a lot of energy in terms of guarding Curry. And Oubre needs to show up. He needs to show up offensively. At the end of the day, the team that scores more points wins, and he's a pretty big contributor. Do not lose, and it seems like he's starting to lose his spot in terms of minutes. If he wants his minutes, attack the rim, get free throws. That's a good way to get your shot going. So that's it for today. If you like this video, go ahead and click on the like button. Go ahead and share my videos with others. Subscribe to my channel and comment down below your views about this. Until then, see you next time.